If you're collecting Social Security right now, listen carefully. What I'm about to explain could decide whether you keep receiving your full monthly check or suddenly see it stop without warning. The Social Security Administration has quietly introduced new verification rules that millions of retirees don't even know exist yet. Missing this update isn't a small thing. It can delay your payment or even cancel benefits you've spent a lifetime earning. This is already hitting thousands of seniors across the country, and the clock has been ticking since the moment these changes went into effect. Here's what most people don't realize. The SSA isn't going to call, text, or send multiple reminders. You'll either see a single letter in your mailbox, or worse, you'll simply notice that your deposit didn't show up. By the time that happens, it might be too late to fix it. That 10-day window everyone's been talking about isn't random. It's tied to the new verification and reporting rules now required for all types of benefits, whether you receive retirement checks, survivor benefits, or disability payments. So if you're in any of these groups, this message matters to you right now. Let's be real for a moment. What's happening inside Social Security right now has created a perfect storm of confusion, and it's hitting the most responsible people the hardest. You've played by the rules your whole life. You've worked 30, 40, maybe even 50 years, paying into a system you trusted. And now, when it's finally time to rely on it, new administrative hurdles are popping up that could threaten everything you've earned. The SSA has started enforcing brand new verification steps that require immediate action. The worst part? Most people only learn about these changes when it's already too late, or after their checks have stopped coming altogether. Picture what's happening across the country right now. Retirees in Florida, Texas, Arizona, Pennsylvania, all over, who've been receiving their benefits on time for years, suddenly see their payments vanish. No notice, no warning, just gone. When they finally reach out to the Social Security office, they're told they failed to complete a form or respond to a notice within the deadline. Some never even received that letter. Others got it, but didn't realize how urgent it was. And a few thought they had more time. Because of staffing shortages, outdated systems, and massive backlogs, getting a suspended payment restored can take months, and sometimes it can't be reinstated at all. So what's really happening behind the curtain? The SSA is cracking down on what they call improper payments, basically money that might have gone to someone who no longer qualifies or whose situation has changed. Sounds fair in theory, right? But in practice, thousands of honest retirees are getting caught in the crossfire. The agency is sending out plain-looking letters that don't look urgent at all. They blend in with all the other mail seniors receive, Medicare flyers, insurance ads, or even scam offers. Many people throw them away without realizing they're official. And once that happens, the countdown begins 10 days to respond or risk losing your benefits. That 10-day rule doesn't apply to just one situation. It's linked to multiple life changes that might affect your eligibility. So think about your past year. Did you move to a new address? Get married or divorced? Start collecting a pension that isn't covered by Social Security? Lose a loved one? Spend a few months outside the US? Pick up part-time work or freelance jobs? Every one of those events can trigger new verification requirements. And if you don't respond quickly, your benefits could be suspended while the SSA reviews your case, putting the burden of proof entirely on you to show you still qualify. Now, let's talk about survivor benefits, because this is where things get especially serious. If you're receiving payments based on your late spouse's work history, Social Security will occasionally ask you to confirm that you haven't remarried and that your situation hasn't changed. They'll send a form with questions about your income, living arrangements, and marital status. And it's not just paperwork. If that form isn't returned within 10 days from the date it was sent, not the date you received it, your survivor benefits can be automatically stopped. Once that happens, getting them reinstated means starting completely over, reapplying, resubmitting death and marriage certificates, and providing every supporting document again. That process can take months, and during that time, you're left with no income from those benefits. People receiving disability benefits are facing the same kind of nightmare, sometimes even worse. If you're on SSDI or SSI, you probably know about those continuing disability reviews, the SSA's way of checking if you still meet their medical requirements. Well, here's the update. Those reviews have become more frequent, and the response windows are shorter than ever. You might get a packet asking for new medical details, updates on your daily routine, work attempts, and information from every doctor you've seen. That packet gives you just 10 days to reply. Miss it by even 1 day, and your benefits can be cut off, not because your health improved, but simply because the agency marks it as failure to cooperate. Appealing that decision is a long, draining process that can stretch out for a year or more, and during all that time, your payments stay frozen. And then there's another group no one's talking about, representative payees. These are people who manage benefits on behalf of someone else, like an elderly parent or a disabled relative. If you're a representative payee, the SSA requires you to file yearly reports showing exactly how that money was used. Miss that report, and the beneficiary's payments can be delayed or suspended until everything's verified. So whether you receive your own Social Security or handle someone else's, the bottom line is the same. The new compliance rules are strict, the response windows are short, and the consequences are serious. Now here's where things get even more serious. Because if you are a representative payee, meaning you manage someone else's Social Security benefits, you're held to a much higher standard. You have to show proof every single year explaining exactly how that money was spent, every grocery trip, rent payment, and medical bill. And if that report doesn't reach the SSA on time, those payments can be frozen for both you and the person you represent. Think about what that means for an elderly parent who depends on that check to buy medicine, or a disabled child who relies on it for care. Missing a simple form submission could cause a crisis in someone's daily life. And because the SSA's mail processing system is already backed up, even one lost envelope or late delivery can trigger months of delays. So if you're managing someone else's payments, you cannot afford to take chances, file your reports early, confirm they were received, and always keep copies for your records. Let's step back for a moment. All of these new rules, from the 10-day deadlines to the verification forms, were designed to stop fraud and overpayments. But in the process, they're overwhelming honest retirees. Instead of catching bad actors, these policies are creating fear, confusion, and endless paperwork for people who've done nothing wrong. This is why so many advocacy groups and lawmakers are now pushing the SSA to simplify its procedures and extend the response timelines, especially for seniors who rely on mail delivery. The scary part? The SSA's automated systems don't understand context. If your letter arrives late, if you're in the hospital, or even if your mail gets misdelivered, the system simply flags you as non-compliant. Your check gets stopped. No questions asked. Then you're stuck trying to reach someone at the Social Security office, and that's a challenge on its own. Most offices are still short-staffed, call centers are jammed, and wait times can stretch into hours or even days. Many people give up before they ever speak to a real person. That's why it's more important than ever to be proactive. Don't wait for a problem to happen. Log into your My Social Security account online. That's your best defense. You can see pending notices, verify your contact info, and confirm any required actions before deadlines hit. If you don't already have an online account, create one today. Because relying on postal mail alone in 2025 is risky, especially when the difference between keeping your benefits and losing them could come down to a single delayed envelope. Let's talk about the emotional side of this for a second. For millions of retirees, these aren't just numbers on a screen, they're lifelines. We're talking about money that pays for food, prescriptions, electricity, the essentials. When that gets interrupted, the stress and fear can be overwhelming. Imagine checking your bank account one morning, expecting your monthly deposit, and it's just not there. You call the SSA, and they tell you you've been terminated due to a missed form you never even saw. That's the nightmare many seniors are living through right now. But here's the good news, you can stay ahead of this. Start by reviewing your mail carefully. Anything from the Social Security Administration, even if it looks ordinary, deserves your full attention. Keep all your paperwork in one folder, and if you ever receive a notice with a 10-day deadline, act immediately. You can also contact your local SSA office or call their national helpline to verify the legitimacy of a letter before sending any information. Because scammers know seniors are being flooded with official-looking mail, and they're taking advantage of that confusion. And speaking of scams, this is another growing danger. There are fake websites and phone calls pretending to be from the Social Security Administration, asking for personal information or verification fees. Let me be crystal clear. The SSA will never charge you money or ask for your bank details over the phone. If anyone does, hang up immediately and report it. To double-check anything official, go only to ssa.gov, not .com, not .org, just ssa.gov. It's the only legitimate website for anything related to your benefits. Now, there's another layer to this story, something that's going to affect millions more people in 2026 and beyond. The SSA is transitioning to a fully digital verification system that links your benefits directly with IRS data, Medicare enrollment, and even state-level databases. It's meant to modernize the process, but it also means your information will be constantly reviewed by multiple systems. That's why keeping your information up to date, address, marital status, income sources, is more critical than ever. Because if one system flags a mismatch, your benefits could be paused until it's resolved. Here's what you can do right now to protect yourself. White heavy checkmark, go to ssa.gov/myaccount and make sure your contact info is current. White heavy checkmark, watch for any mail marked action required. White heavy checkmark if you've recently changed your address, update it both with SSA and the Postal Service. White heavy checkmark, and if you receive disability or survivor benefits, keep your medical and financial records organized and ready. Don't wait until a notice arrives. It might sound like a hassle, but this small effort can save you months of stress and uncertainty. At the end of the day, this isn't about bureaucracy. It's about survival for millions of older Americans. You earn these benefits through a lifetime of work and contribution. Don't let a missed notice or slow mail system take that away. Stay alert, stay organized, and most importantly, stay informed. Because in today's Social Security system, being proactive isn't optional, it's protection.